So we've all been there, that sweet joy and relief of unlocking that platinum trophy that you've been working towards for ages. And that happened to me today when I unlocked the imaginatively called Trophy Achiever in Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove on PS4. And the trophy I got just before that to trigger the platinum was Old School Jamming, which is a simple bronze trophy that required me to play as both Old School Toejam and Earl in a 2-player game. And I picked this one because it made for a really nice platinum image of the two retro characters, which I thought was pretty cool, to be fair. So as I sit there all happy, thinking about my nice shiny new platinum and wondering what's next, I begin to just think back at all the trophies I had to get in this game in order to unlock this platinum, and I begin to wonder to myself, was the platinum journey in this game worth it? Would I recommend this platinum to other people to go for? Was there some really annoying, grindy, bullshit trophies in this? Or were they pretty straightforward? Well, let's find out in today's episode of that one bullshit PlayStation Platinum Unlock. So Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove is a sequel to the original classic, but in many ways it's also kind of like a remake of that first game on the Mega Drive, as you still do pretty much the same thing, and the gameplay is very much the same sort of thing as you explore each floor of Earth to try and find your missing ship pieces that have been scattered around, all the while picking up presents, opening them to find what power-ups you might get that help or hinder you, and while you try and avoid enemies and find the lift that will take you up to the next floor. It's a fairly straightforward game. It's quite a chilled out one that you can just play and mostly, for the most part, just relax when you're playing it. So the platinum journey itself took me 5 days and 45 minutes to unlock, according to psnprofiles.com, and in total it was probably close to around 30 hours of actual playtime for me to get this platinum. So in total, the game has 49 trophies, including the Platinum Trophy, and for your troubles, you'll end up with 3 golds, 5 silvers, and 40 bronze trophies to add to your collection. So it's a nice mixture, and there's a couple of golds there that you can get, so it will boost up your trophy card levelling system a fair bit with those trophies. The game itself is actually fairly short as well, as there are only 25 floors or levels for you to go through and find your ship pieces, and after a few goes I could actually complete this game in around 45 minutes on the fixed world, as it's always the same every time you go through it, so you actually eventually will remember where the ship pieces are in each level. What drags the experience out for way too long though is the Mad Hatter Trophy, which requires you to unlock all 22 of the hats in the game, and you get these hats which give you a power up boost on each level that you go up to, or just randomly give you a hat that you have. You get these in a variety of ways. 4 of them are given to you for completing the game on the hard mode, while 15 others can be for completing it on the normal fixed world, and you also get another 3 for doing some of the mini games, like getting through to the end of the Hyper Funk Zone, which is a pain in the arse in itself, to be honest. But more on that in a different video. This single Mad Hatter Trophy, though, is what you'll be working towards each time you play the game, and it's one that really did suck the enjoyment right out of Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove for me, as it turned the Platinum Quest into a real boring and annoyingly frustrating slog at times. I mean, completing Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove 22 times over these past 5 days is, for me, 20 times too many in my opinion, as it's a stupid amount to get that just forces you to play the game again and again and again, and it just really frustrates by the end of it. I get that they wanted to pad their game out and add some replayability, but there are other ways they could have done it, like just more enjoyable, more inventive ones than just making me play through it again and again just to pick that one single hat at the end of each playthrough. It just wasn't fun, and I just really didn't enjoy that trophy. It was just such a bullshit one. It doesn't end there, however, as there were a few more frustrating trophies in the game, such as the Earl Back Trophy, which is another form of collectible trophy. So in total, there are 19 people who are backers for the Kickstarter campaign for the game, for you to find, who sit on certain islands in specific levels and will often require you to use a special item such as the shoes, the Icarus wings or the springs to bounce over to the island and reach them. The problem with this trophy though is that on normal there are, in my experience, 11 confirmed levels that will have a backer on them, yet there are actually in total 19 backers for you to find, meaning you won't actually get to see them all in a single playthrough of the game. To make matters even worse, the game doesn't track which ones you've actually found, so it'll be up to you to actually make a note of it. I did it by just taking a load of screenshots every time I found one so I could go back and compare, but I just don't get why games don't give you a collectible tracker. It's just basic, man. Come on, fuck's sake. The backers are also randomly placed, so if you get one in a certain level, for example, you might see that one again and again and again before you eventually find the one you want. And it gets even worse the further you get through your progress of this trophy. When you just need one or two more, you'll probably find that you get a load of dupes before you actually get that one, and it's just fucking annoying. And even worse than that, sometimes when you do find the one you want, you'll have no special item to reach them, so you'd have to remember that level that they were on and then go and come back round and go back down to that level once you get an item that you need. Fuck.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So there are two annoying collectible trophies in the game that really took the piss when going for this platinum, but there were also a few other trophies that were pretty annoying to try and unlock. One of these was the Lord of the Hyperfunk Zone, which is a trophy that I found to be the most bullshit in the entire game, purely because it put in a no-win situation for me because of how random the nature of the game is. So I was literally blocked from getting this by the game, despite me doing everything right. I just couldn't get through the final zone of this bonus round because it didn't spawn in a clock when it should have to keep the timer going, so I just could never get further enough into it because I would always run out of time through no fault of my own. So again, I had to then go for it in a different playthrough, but we'll talk more about that in a more traditional That One Bullshit Trophy episode. There were also a few annoying trophies regarding the presents and opening specific ones, or maybe opening broken presents and getting them to not blow up on you and then getting a load to blow up on you, and they can be quite tricky for you to unlock, as you pretty much at the mercy of the game and the RNG gods for what presents you'll actually pick up as you play through the levels, as it's just completely random really. However, because you are forced to do so many playthroughs, you should be fairly okay with these, as you should get them eventually during all those playthroughs, or if not, you've at least got enough time for you to devote a single playthrough to a specific few of these trophies, and then you can do a couple more in the next playthrough and so on. A trick I found was that you can actually pause the game and then press the save and continue option to create a sort of auto-save basically of where you are in that level. You can then just go and open all the presents to see what you've got, and then if they're all crap you can just reload and then load it back to where you were before you opened it, allowing you to then bin the ones that were no good but keep the ones that you might need. Or if you're trying to open presents that are broken and get them to blow up on you, you can just reload it and try it again and hope that next time you'll get it to work. And that's how I got those trophies, by just constantly reloading my save and saving it whenever I made a bit of progress. And the duplicate present also helps with that, because you can dupe a few more broken ones if you can find one of those, of course. So that was the method I did to get those out of my way. And on my first playthrough, once I got to level 25, I deliberately didn't get the final shit piece because I wanted to go back down to level 1 and try and mop up a few more of the trophies. And I think after my first playthrough, which I probably spent about 5 or 6 hours on to be fair, I think I came away with about 40% of the trophies already unlocked because I just explored through all the level and tried to just get everything I could. One of the main ones that was annoying in that initial playthrough that made it be that long, because I was just searching for things, was the pain in the ass gotta get them all trophy for killing every type of earthling in the game. So what made this frustrating for me to try and get was that you can only kill the enemies when you actually open a present with an actual weapon in it, such as the slingshot or tomato, and like the other present type trophies, you're just at the mercy of the game and the RNG in that you need to be lucky enough to actually get enough presents with the weapons in, and then you have to try and remember which enemies you've killed already and make sure you don't waste a tomato on ones that you've already done, because there are a lot of enemies in the game and each enemy type has several different variations as well, so you've got to try and remember which ones you've actually taken out. And thankfully you only have to kill one of each type, so it's not as bad as it could have been, but it could have been a lot easier to do if the game would have included some form of tracker, so you could keep a watch on which ones you've actually got, so you know how much progress you've made. You know, have I killed the devil already? Have I killed the person on the Segway? Have I killed the woman with the camera already? I don't know, I can't remember, because I've been playing for a while now and I can't quite remember which ones I've got. So for me, you're probably better off avoiding every enemy, going up to the 25th floor, and making sure you've got enough presents, you've picked up enough weapons at that point, and then just work your way back down, killing all the enemies and making a note each time of which ones you've actually got. Because if you don't do it like that, you're just casually going through and taking a few out, you're going to find yourself having to walk around to try and find more presents with slingshot or tomato, etc., and that's just going to make it even more annoying, because they just don't give you a tracker and you don't get enough weapons really, because they're on a timer, so you've got to do it quick. You've got to make sure you use it in the right place where there's a group of enemies that you can try and take them all out. And when you try to fight the bigger enemies like the ice cream truck, they take a shitload of tomatoes, so you may not even be able to kill them straight away, because you might die because they might just run you over. So it can be really annoying at times to try and get this one, especially once obviously you've got most of the enemies and you're just down to like that last one and you're trying to figure out which one it is, and your mind will just play tricks on you saying, I'm sure I've got that one. And for me it was the construction worker with the little pendulum drill thing. He was the last one I needed to get, and I could have sworn I got him really early on, because he was like a earlier level one that showed up in the early parts of the game, so it's just a really frustrating one to try and get this. I just really didn't enjoy the way they did it. They could have made it a lot more user friendly. That's my biggest complaint with this one. So unfortunately the game does also have several multiplayer trophies.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Yep, I know what you're thinking. Fuck this. But they're not too bad. There's a couple that are just a bit random, like you have to do some high fives, you have to give another player 3 of your lives, you have to wake one up when they're asleep, things like that. And you do actually have to complete the game with a friend. So this can either be done locally with another mate at your place or online. And, well, for me, I just did it split screen local, because the online, whenever I looked, there was pretty much no one on, or maybe just one person playing, but they were on like extreme mode or something. So it's really not a viable option, I don't think, to do it online, especially getting all the weird present ones that you need to get. So for me, the trick was to just do it solo, because you don't actually have to complete the whole thing in co-op. You can play right up to the end, save and exit, and then come back in and just have the player join you then. So then it's just a case of walking to the end with them, so you can just do that with 2 controllers if you got them spare. So you can do them all solo, really. I did anyway, but it is a bit annoying having to do that, and not everyone has a spare pad, so I do feel like I need to point out that there are multiplayer trophies in this that could hinder you, because there's not many people online anymore. So that's pretty much it for all the noteworthy trophies that I want to talk about, really. So as this is kind of a trophy review, I guess I should give my final verdict now. And for me, Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove is a really good game, and I really did enjoy it. But if, like me, you want to buy this and go for the platinum, then seriously be warned, as this is a really grindy and repetitive platinum to try and get, and going for this will really soil your enjoyment of the game, and your overall experience and memories of it will be tainted. If you can handle a long repetitive grind of playing the game over and over and over again to get all the hats, then go for it, as it is still a good game. If not, play it on an alternative account, because it is a fun game to play, and I do want more people to buy this. Just avoid it for the trophies if you need to, and be prepared to see that ending credits over and over and over again. Wait a minute. Macaulay Culkin, as in Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin.